Do y'all know what's really funny about this Xbox's everywhere thing? I think it's Xbox actually copying the Nintendo Switch's business proposition. Now, I didn't really think about this until the conversation started to brew. And as of right now, people are saying, Xbox going and leaving its primary home console is a bad thing. Some are arguing that it's a good thing. There are all kinds of different, opinions as to what this is. Now, the question is, how is, Xbox copying Nintendo? I've always considered Nintendo in the console space as the leader. However, if you think about Nintendo's own console, it is actually not a traditional console. In fact, I think it was the innovation across what it is that they did that skyrocketed them to where they are. The Wii U failed. It was not a console that did well in sales. However, it was a console that was pivotal in regard to, basically setting Nintendo up for, okay, what kinds of games do we like in terms of their own player base? And then at the end of the day, they decided that they were going to go with the Nintendo Switch. Now, when they went with the Nintendo Switch, what happened? They decided that they were going to pretty much abandon the traditional console space. And this has pretty much put them in a place where right now, if you think about Nintendo from a console perspective, even people are still confused and say, oh, not maybe confused, but they still try to figure out, okay, are we going to categorize these guys as a console, manufacturer? They are, because the console is a hybrid. It can do multiple things. You can carry it with you, or they made a version that can simply only be carried with you. And then you can also, in a sense, dock it and play as a home console. Xbox has pretty much put itself in a position where it's actually trying to subvert this need to make a new hardware piece. Instead, it's going to use existing hardware to go ahead and actually do it. So now they don't have to actually go back and sit there and make a dockable, hardware device. They already have that being made by Steam, Asus, Lenovo, MSI, and possibly they themselves later down the road when they've basically been able to see how others have pretty much, enjoyed or suffered through the market, right? And probably make an iteration that would work for people at a very good price point. That being said, they have now pretty much put their games or their platform on those particular devices. And they've also gone for cell phones with the Android store opening with the court case and so on and so forth. That also gives them an entire different platform that they can access. So pretty much the entire mobile space, which is pretty much the biggest of all, they've decided that they can also move their games there. And this particular platform favors more being able to carry your game anywhere you go. So what Xbox is doing is it's moved its games to more stationary platforms across the board, consoles, PCs, laptops, and then at the same time moved it to portable platforms at the exact same time. This idea is not unique to them, in my opinion. I think they have simply ripped off Nintendo's strategy to pretty much move around the place. PlayStation, I think, made a big mistake with the PS Portal. When it was launched, I said to myself, why not make a portable PlayStation handheld device? What is the obsession with PlayStation putting itself in a position where it only values the box? And I think this inability to think outside of the box that a lot of PlayStation traditionalists and even some Xbox traditionalists hold is what's making them, in a sense, seem confused. And many of them will point to Nintendo and say, look at Nintendo, man. They just have all that it takes. When not realizing that, guys and girls, Nintendo literally had to break the mold to be successful. And this mold that they've broken, sure, it had a more conservative tone and approach to it. But in the case of Xbox, even though it may have a much more open platform, tone to it, it is still fundamentally derived from, in my opinion, what I think Nintendo was able to do to be able to subvert the market expectations and grow significantly. So basically, it's a speed run. That's what it is. So think about this. Nintendo sits there, builds console, R&Ds it, does all that, then sells it at a, catchy price. People adopt it, buy it. Their love for Nintendo games and nostalgia kicks into gear. And then they start playing Nintendo games. And then it also has the home console use. So they realize that they're buying a twofer or two-in-one. In today's day and age, a lot of people have multiple devices. They have the cell phone and they have a console, or they have a PC or a laptop, or they have access to cloud. Internet is much better. Some people are saying cloud is going to be blah, blah, blah. You've never seen GeForce Now. you need to make informed opinions, okay? And sometimes I get stupid. Like, I thought cloud was still even not as good with PlayStation because the last time I played was PlayStation Now, and some of you corrected me in the comment section and said, hey, get your head right. Somebody almost slapped me through the screen and said, go check out PlayStation. They actually have a better cloud, platform than even Xbox themselves. Apparently, Microsoft Azure is who hosts them. So Microsoft over there carrying PlayStation again. But if you can think outside the box in this regard, I think a lot of people are missing the fact. You see, this is something that really makes me laugh. Like Tom Henderson put this over here, a cheeky way. It needs a little disclaimer saying, this is an Xbox thing with reduced graphics and FPS, but that this is an Xbox, campaign really did throw a lot of people off. I've been looking around at, a lot of the gaming, media, the gaming writers, and, thinking about how they are looking at this. Even Destin was saying, nobody actually liked this in his thumbnail for his video. And I was quite shocked because I was like, are we not looking at this from a perspective where the innovation is actually copying the console market leader in their own, in their own way? Even Nintendo themselves have expanded to mobile as well. So if Xbox sits there and does not move, they're going to basically stay behind. And I don't think that that's something that they want to actually do. So now finding a way to get their games to these platforms, even though many of these games are probably not going to run well on today's cell phone devices, they will run. Don't get me wrong. Assassin's Creed Mirage was running on the iPhone 15 just, back a few months ago, or a year ago, depending on how you're looking at it. And so all of this put together really, to me, makes a lot of sense. For those on Xbox that don't see it, again, I don't know what to tell you. It's just one of those things where, you got to get a little bit of, what do I call it? A little bit of your imagination kind of tweaked. Perhaps you'll be able to see it someday. But I think Nintendo has basically paved the way for innovation. And trust me, PlayStation is going to follow suit. In fact, they already had in one of their leaked documents that they were going to basically leverage their cloud and PC platform. So this is not even a matter of, PlayStation is not going to do that. They already are planning it. It's not really a problem. Gotta go, though. Thank you for watching the video. Appreciate you guys' time and audience. And hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.